What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of BnG. Feels good. Feels good to recap a win and to get back on the winning trail. But before we get too deep into this video, you already know what I'm going to say. Be sure to comment, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. I'm trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before the season ends, and you guys know I can't do it without your help. So you know I'm pushing out the content. We got the reaction video coming out tomorrow and much more content to come. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, flood the comments, because I love chopping it up with my YouTube family. And without further ado, let's get into this video. To give you a timestamp, as I do for all of my episodes, today is Sunday, October the 20th, 2024, and it's about 11:30 p.m. and we're about 4 hours removed from the Washington Commanders putting belt to ass. Putting belt to Panther ass. Putting belt to Panther ass. Might as well call it PETA for all that animal cruelty that went down. Putting that belt to that Panther ass, to that canine ass today. With a score of 40-7. Washington won 40-7. And this isn't going to be a long recap at all. Partly due to the fact, if you guys are boots on the ground in the DMV, and you don't know, every university in the DMV had their homecoming this weekend, and your boy Stunner was outside. On top of going to the game today. So your boy Stunner is tired. And not only is your boy Stunner tired and it wasn't a lot going, or there was so much going on over the course of the weekend. Like, I was looking at the game through my tequila goggles today. Might have had some cognac goggles on as well, as much as I was drinking this weekend. But this game was rather uneventful as well. And I'm going to be quite transparent with y'all because I know I can only keep it raw, uncut, and then filtered overhead bleeding BnG. I left about 3 minutes into the third quarter. Now, if you want to call me not a true fan, if you want to say that I'm not a diehard, well, guess what? I pay $1,500 for them tickets every year. So I think that qualifies me as a diehard on top of doing this podcast. But enough about me. Let's get into this episode. Washington does what a good team is supposed to do. Dominate a bad team. And this is a trend that we've been seeing over the course of the season. Whether it be the Cleveland Browns that we dominated, whether it be the Arizona Cardinals. Good teams dominate bad teams. And they stay in and they hang in there or beat good teams. Like, that's what good teams do. And we come off a tough defeat against the Baltimore Ravens, a heavyweight battle, and that game was so hyped up. I thought that we were in prime, a prime spot for a trap game against the lowly Carolina Panthers, but not. This is a new era. This is a new era. This is a new regime, and I have to start removing myself from my scorned Commander, Redskin, football team fan syndrome and start realizing, like, nah, this is new. This is fresh. I told y'all before, I don't know how to act. Well, guess what? I'm about to start acting like a winner because that's what we are. Let's get into this game. Y'all know we're going to start with the golden boy, the franchise, Jayden Daniels. And it ain't much to say about Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels had a 50-yard run to open up the game in his first offensive drive that he hurt himself on. Y'all see how difficult it was for me to say that? Because when I tell you that the life was sucked out of that stadium, when we saw that Jayden was hurt. Now, he did manage to finish the drive. He stayed in. But when we saw him go to the sideline and then when we saw him go to the medical tent, because, we boots on the ground at Northwest Stadium. You can hear a pin drop in Northwest Stadium. And I'm telling you today, it was packed. It was packed. Everybody showing love to Dale Green during his retirement ceremony. And we just know that the Commanders, the football team, the Redskins, they bring hella fans over from the North Carolina region or from the Carolinas in its whole. And they came out in full force today. It was fucking packed in there. You would have thought we was playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And for that packed stadium to go dead silent when we saw Jayden head to the sideline. And when you boots on the ground, you're not getting privy to the television copy where they're giving you or divulging the information that they're hearing live on the fly. So when I tell you that I hooked up, I've never hooked up to a Wi-Fi so fucking fast. Because I don't like hooking up to public Wi-Fi because, this is just, I don't like sharing my information. You know, I'm funny about that. But when I tell you I ain't never hooked up to some public Wi-Fi so fast to get a Jayden Daniels update. Because that's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. And we ain't about to ruin these positive vibes that we have in this season. Because guess what? He's the catalyst of all of these positive vibes. So if he goes down, the positive vibes go down. Yeah, it's a new regime. Yeah, it's a new era, like I said a couple of minutes ago. But guess what? It all starts with JD5. And I'm going to need my guy to come back healthy. We saw that his mom tweeted that he was fine. We saw him actually come out on the sideline smiling. Now, who knows if he was drugged up off, what they give him, Vicodin in the NFL or Toradol. Because he did have a little glaze in his eye. And I'm pretty sure that he was, high off of the painkillers. But everything post injury outside of him going back to the locker room seemed, to be pointed in a positive light. I don't know if it was official, but I heard around Twitter Commanders X that the X-rays were negative. Once again, I haven't seen an official report about that. And I don't think he fractured his ribs. We saw him throwing up touchdown signals left and right when he was on the sideline. And I honestly think that, if this was a dogfight, if this was against an NFC East opponent, or quite frankly, if the Carolina Panthers weren't dog shit, I think that Jayden Daniels could have been able to play again in that game today if it came down to it in a must-win game. But sticking with the quarterback position, our guy Marcus Mariota came in Jayden Daniels' absence and started off a little rocky. I'm not going to lie. But then Cliff Kingsbury took matters into his own hands. Sticking with the run, moving the pocket with Mariota, having him make some rollouts, cutting the field in half, having Mariota make some easy throws. Marcus Mariota had one of his best games that he's had since what? He was a starter in Atlanta? And maybe before then, because he got fucking benched then. Marcus Mariota was balling after the first two series. Because we got to put that disclaimer out. Because the first two series, I don't know what the fuck I was watching. But it was clearly a guy that hasn't had any live game reps in a while. He missed majority of the preseason with his injury. But Marcus came in and had an over 200-yard performance with a couple of touchdowns. Like, that's what a veteran backup quarterback is supposed to do. And that's why that veteran backup quarterback position is so essential to teams that are contending for a playoff spot. And guess what? I'm here to tell you that we are contending for a playoff spot and more, and potentially more, once we get Jayden Daniels back into the fold. But like I said, Cliff Kingsbury took matters into his own hands. And the biggest reason and the biggest way that he did that is by sticking to the run game. Now, the run game was damn near gone last week. That shit vanished. You would have sworn we called David Blaine for the run game last week. But I get it, going against the Baltimore Ravens, uber physical, the best run defense in the NFL. We didn't have B-Rob. Well, guess what? B-Rob was back today. And he was in his full form. The team resulted in over 214 rushing yards. Now, a lot of that did come from Jayden Daniels damn near taking the roof off a stadium on his first snap. Because, like I said, it was a 50-yard run. But I think that if he made some right reads and stayed to the outside potentially, I think he could have took that 90 yards to the house. Remember, he said he would have ran a 4.2 at the combine. If you've been tapped into Jayden Daniels since the offseason, he told y'all he would have ran 4.2. And I told y'all he was talking crazy then. But today was the time to show you the 4.2 speed. Because if you had a 4.2, we probably wouldn't be talking about your rib injuries right now. But I'm joking. Trying to keep light in a gloom moment. Because I'm telling you, I was damn near about to cry in Northwest Stadium when I saw Jayden Daniels go to that locker room. You was about to see a grown man shed some tears. No, you wasn't, because I would never record that shit. But like I said, 214 rushing yards, man. Cliff Kingsbury and the Washington offense, they just kept pounding. And that's going to be the title of the episode today, as a play off of the Carolina Panthers. What is that? Their chat, their hashtag, their war cry. I don't know what the fuck they got going on right now. It need to be their war cry because they've been getting their asses handed to them each and every Sunday. But like I said, good teams are supposed to beat bad teams, and that's exactly what we did today. We ain't only beat them boys, we dominated them boys in dominated fashion. This is our third win that we've had in dominating fashion this season. I haven't seen 3 wins in dominating fashions in my 29 years as a Washington Commander football team Redskin fan. So when I tell you I don't know how to act, this is what I'm talking about. When our golden boy prestige franchise quarterback goes down and my backup quarterback comes in and picks up the reins and has the offense moving, putting up a 40 burger against another professional NFL franchise, this is what I mean when I say I don't know how to act. Because I ain't never seen this shit from my team before. I'm used to dealing with Rex Grossman and Patrick Ramsey and Taylor Heineke's and Todd Collins. Matter of fact, no, Todd Collins, OG, you did step in. I'll forever be indebted to Todd Collins for that 2007 season. But back to 2024, sticking with this offense, man. And I'll say it, while we did stick with the run game, over 200 yards, Brian Robinson having 71 rushing yards, and just him being back, allowing you to play ahead of schedule, allowing you to play ahead of the sticks when you're not in 2nd and 10 and 2nd and long, because he's getting you 4 or 5 yards to pop on first down, is so crucial to this offense, especially if you're not going to have Jayden Daniels in there, because you don't want Marcus Mariota out there making hero plays on 3rd and long, where those are, required. But even though this run game is strong, this run game is back to its fullest form, I would be remiss to not mention that Terry McLaurin has been a wide receiver number 1 since week 2. And he's damn near borderline elite. Now, y'all know over here at BnG, we've been, if you want to call it hard, I think we've been honest on Terry. But one thing that we've never said is that Terry McLaurin is not a number 1 receiver. I've never said that. You've never heard that propaganda come or be spewed over here at BnG. Now, have we said that he's not among the elite of the elite, top 10, top 12 type receivers? Yes, I have said that. But over the course of the last 5 weeks, he's looking like a top 10 or top 12 receiver. And guess what? He's not even just doing it with Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels left. He picked up the chemistry with Marcus Mariota as if them boys have been throwing pitch and catch since Marcus signed in March. 6 receptions, 98 yards in a game that was a blowout, right? In a game that, we dominated the time of the possession. Like, I think that he caught all of his targets. That's prime efficiency. That's wide receiver number 1 efficiency, where we're not wasting targets. And every time that we go to you, we're having these big chunks. We having these bonus plays. And you're a catalyst of the offensive flow. And that's everything that I want in my wide receiver 1. And Terry McLaurin has given it to me over the course of the last month. So, yeah, no harm, no foul there. Don't have much to say to Terry McLaurin. Not like I'm apologizing because I've always thought Terry McLaurin was great. But I'm glad to see that he's taking that next step this season. Sticking with the pass catchers, Zach Ertz had 40 yards and he had a grown-ass man touchdown. Damn near snatching it out the DB's hands. And I love that Marcus Mariota gave him the opportunity to make that throw, because that's what you bought Zach Ertz in here for. To be a sure-handed veteran, to dominate the middle of the field, and to teach Ben Sinnott and John Bates the ropes. And speaking of Ben Sinnott, he had his first touchdown of his career today. And he showed a little swag. Y'all know we was boosting the ground at Northwest. Excuse me. And I noticed that the TV copy cut it short. But I hope somebody else got Ben Sinnott's touchdown celebration. Because I was out there like, what the? Ben Sinnott got a little swag to him. Ben Sinnott was out there Howard Homecoming with me. He was out at Bowie State Homecoming with me. Out there swag surfing. Out there tripping up. Like he went to LSU. Please, somebody get the Ben Sinnott celly. Because I noticed that the TV copy didn't catch it. And the offensive line, I think they held up pretty well. They got moving in the run game, resulting in over 200 yards. We did take some lumps. Brandon Coleman being ruled out with a concussion. So the rookie class, they took a beating today. They took a beating. They had their welcome in the NFL moment today for sure. And Tyler Domiates left with an injury. I think it was to his hand or his finger, but he ultimately came back. And I think they played well. I think Cornelius Lucas played well. Sam Cosmi was mauling motherfuckers in the run game, like Sam Cosmi has been doing since last year. And yeah, that's it for the offense. Now let's sum up to this. Let's get to this defense. Because the biggest takeaway that I can take from the defense and that I can take from this game is that, like, there's real coaching going on in Ashburn with the Washington Commanders. Now, I know that like, dude, this is the NFL. Like, you're supposed to be coach. If you've been a Washington Commander fan, you know it ain't been real coaching going on since Joe Gibbs 1.0, and it was dabbled in with Joe Gibbs 2.0. But there's real coaching going on in the facility with this coaching staff, and I honestly think that we have one of the best coaching staffs in the NFL. And let me tell you what I mean by that. After the Cleveland Brown game, right, Joe Witt was like, man, I don't know if I've ever been this deep into the season without getting our hands on the ball, without having an interception. Well, guess what? Since that game, 2 games, 2 interceptions. Now a pick 6 from Dante Fowler. Because guess what, Dante? I ain't never ever seen you act like this before. Dante Fowler, I ain't never ever seen you act like this before. Word to John Wall, man. Dante Fowler played like a man possessed today. He played like he had Frankie Louvu's secret stuff from the Cleveland Brown game. He had that 69-yard pick, 67-yard pick 6 on the opening drive. He had a sack, and he had a big tackle for loss on the 4th down stop. Playing like a goddamn man possessed. Was that Dante Fowler or was that Derek Thomas? Like, was that Dante Fowler or was that Lawrence Taylor? And guess what? If we can just keep getting these splash performances week in and week out from an individual on defense, that allows you to make just 2 or 3 more stops that you'll get on an ordinary day when you're not feeling superhuman, we're going to go places. Because I don't think a defense in the NFL can stop this offense. I told you, we put up a 40 burger today without backup quarterback. And yeah, it was against the Arizona Cardinals, but guess what? I mean, excuse me. It was against the Carolina Panthers, but these are the same Carolina Panthers that hung in there with the Atlanta Falcons last week. And everybody been riding Atlanta coattails all week, talking about how they the most powerful offense in the NFL. Well, I guess they ain't seen the Washington Commanders. Like, huh? But sticking back with this defense, I think Frankie Louvu got back to flying around. Didn't necessarily see that from him in the Baltimore game like I saw from the Cleveland Brown game. But I think we got a little spoiled because we can't expect these guys to have these outer body experiences week in and week out. Because guess what? They'll be first and second team All-Pros. But Frankie Louvu got back to flying around against his old team. Had a sack today. I think he only had like 4 tackles. But I think that Jeremy Chin was flying around as well. You did see a lot of the balls going over the top. Jeremy Chin had a really good game in coverage, in my opinion. I'll be interested to see the PFF numbers and the All-22 numbers. But you saw we didn't get beat deep a lot. I think he played the post as well as I've seen him play when they asked him to do it this season. And if we could get him at 6'3", 220 pounds playing that deep half or the post safety position to a T, yeah, this defense might be on to something. Now, I know it's a 1-game sample size, and I know it's the Carolina Panthers. But I don't know if I'm speaking in hyperbole, but what I saw today, I think that Johnny Newton and the combination of Johnny Newton and Fedarian Mathis as a rotation at the defensive tackle position might be an upgrade over Jonathan Allen, at least in the department of the stopping the run. At least in the department of stopping the run. Because I'm here to tell you, I don't know if you watch football. I don't know if you all tapped in with this league like we are. But the Carolina Panthers came in the land over having one of the best pure rushing attacks in the NFL when you're not including the quarterback. And we held them to under 100 yards. We held Chuba Hubbard, who was the 3rd leading rusher coming into today, to 3.1 yards per carry. And he got a lot of that in garbage time in the 4th quarter. It was probably looking like 2.5 up until the 4th quarter. 1-game sample size. Carolina Panthers, I get it. But they spent a lot of money on that interior offensive line. And that interior offensive line, quite frankly, been whipping some people's ass over the course of the last couple of weeks. Well, Johnny Newton, Fedarian Mathis, and Deron Payne said not on my watch today. And I love what I saw from Deron Payne. Go look at Deron Payne's hustle on that Dante Fowler pick 6. He was running like he had the ball. That's how you know the vibes are high in Washington. From top to bottom, like Cornelius Lucas said in his post-game presser. And it's evident, like, it's evident, speaking of Darryl Green and his, retirement ceremony, it was so beautiful. In contrast or comparing it to, like, when they taking photo ops in front of fucking porta potties for Sean Taylor. They had burgundy and gold, like, red carpets laid out. I know a burgundy and gold red carpet. I don't know how that worked, but we're gonna go with it over here, Bleeding BnG tonight. I told you it's late. I'm tired. But yeah, it was elegant. And yeah, it was just a beautiful sight to see. And it just told you that the tides is turning with this franchise. And I'm glad that I'm finally seeing it in my lifetime, even though it took damn near 30 years. So shout out to Darryl Green. And sticking with the cornerbacks, before I forget and before I leave you guys for this episode, Emmanuel Forbes caught an interception today. And you can make a joke out of this and say, whoa, the Carolina Panthers are so ass, even Emmanuel Forbes is catching interceptions on them. And we've been hard on Emmanuel Forbes over here at Bleeding BnG. But I ain't even gonna lie. That was a tremendous rep from Emmanuel Forbes on his interception. He stayed on top of the route. He stayed in phase. He played with great leverage, something that he hasn't been doing over the course of his career, which, having that on top of being 113 pounds soaking wet is a recipe for disaster. No wonder why he has been getting cooked by, these NFL receivers. But we're going to leave the past in the past. Hopefully he can build on this momentum. I would love to see him show those, return skills that had him, the leading pick six getter in NCAA history, in the history of college football. But he looked like he ain't want to get tackled. He looked like the NFL might be a different game. And yeah, let me not get hit by one of these 300-pound linemen trying to chase me. But yeah, Emmanuel Forbes, keep the momentum going. Like I said, it could be a joke written there, and we have been hard on him. But it wasn't a gimme pick by any means. He went and got that pick. Playing with good leverage. It was a good rep. And yeah, hopefully he can build on that. And hopefully he can take those, healthy scratches that he had early in the season, put those in the past. And, it looks like he really used that time to lock in on his technique, because I don't think he got exposed at all today. And I don't know if we've ever been able to say that about a Emmanuel Forbes game. So that'll do it for this episode of Bleeding BnG. Kept pounding, because we kept pounding the Carolina Panthers face in the fucking ground, belt to ass. As always, if you're not following us on social media, go ahead and do that. Follow our Instagram at Bleeding BnG, BLEEDING, BnG. Our X handle spelled a tad bit differently, BLEEDIN, BnG. So there's only one G in our X handle. If you're listening to us on audio-only platforms, such as Apple Podcasts, such as Spotify, please leave a rating. Please leave a review. That's how we finesse this algorithm, so that whenever you're searching anything for your Washington Commanders, Bleeding BnG is that number one content hub that comes up in your search bar. And you come to us for the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis. And I promise to keep giving it to you if the Commanders keep cutting up like this. 5-2? 5-2? I don't know what to do. I'll check in on y'all later. Peace.